Susan spoke elegantly yesterday about don't know mind. I'd like to follow up with things I know but would rather not know mind. Yeah, things I know but would rather not know mind, which we bring into our lives as well in different places, and it's both humorous and poignant. Some of the things that we'd rather not know that are really clear as day, and the Buddha talked about some of those. I call them the existential unavoidables. These are the things that we can't really do that much about, but we also have a certain kind of magical thinking with regard to some of them. The existential unavoidables. There was a Zen teacher who went on a long retreat one time, and he came out, and all of the students gathered, and a senior student came up and said, "Teacher, we'd like to know about your retreat experience. In particular, we'd like to know the most amazing thing you discovered, your most amazing insight. Please share with us." He paused for a while and opened his eyes and said, "The most amazing thing is that we're all going to die, but we don't live as if that were so." The existential unavoidables, and that's one of them. And in fact, the Buddha spoke about these four remembrances, the four things that we should reflect on, because we don't naturally go there. So now we should reflect on them to hold in mind their truth. And one is that I am of the nature to grow old. I have not transcended that business of growing old. Yeah. One is I'm of the nature to get sick. I haven't transcended that. I'm not beyond that. And the third is that I'm of the nature to die. I have not transcended that. And the fourth one, which is in some ways, well, speaking for myself, is the most challenging to integrate, to reflect on, is at some point, this is not an if, but a when, I will be separated from all that is near and dear to me. Things that we know but would rather not know, mind. Yeah? And of course, the recommendation to reflect on these things was not based in some kind of morbid reflection, but as a way to enhance a kind of spiritual urgency, in the sense that, well, how to bring gratitude, how to see more of our lives as precious and fleeting and dear, do you know? And to not imagine so much that this is going to go on endlessly, which we can do. We fall into these spaces a lot, right? Yeah. Other people die, but not me. I know. Have you had this experience yet? Have we all had this experience of people who are your age or younger getting very sick or dying? How about people who you know, I know a couple, who took care of themselves really well, you know, lots of supplements. Vegetarians don't die, right? Yeah. And so on. I remember having a religion teacher. I majored in Eastern religion in college a long time ago. And I had a professor who said, well, it's important to consider what you're going to do between here and death. And I thought to myself, I don't think I said this out loud in class, but I thought to myself, dude, I'm 18 years old. Don't lay that on me. You know, that's like way too, I mean, cognitively, okay, but what are you talking about? You know, of course we're not wired to orient that way. Some of us now, I think, are beginning to see that time does not extend infinitely before us. Yeah, yeah. Well, what are we going to do between here and there? How do we, um, how do we bring more appreciation? How do we bring more gratitude? How do we bring more love? Where do we bring it? How do we bring it? Yeah. So not so much from morbid, from more of, oh, what about this? You know, what about this experience? What about this day? You know, Susan and I, we've said this to you, we'll say when we wake up in the morning, first thing, hey, we woke up. Yeah, we do that now. And then we look around, where are the cats? Now we look on, oh, and they woke up too. You know, we have a good friend whose kitten died, a very completely healthy kitten at 7 months, just dropped dead. You know, we think that can't happen. You know, that can't happen, right? We know, but we don't know. We know, but we don't live as if it were so. We don't bring that sense of real appreciation for the fragility of all of this. Or we forget it a lot. And so one of the things that we encourage is the remembrance of that. It's another, let's shine a mindful light there to enhance or to appreciate this moment and this situation. Oh, oh, do I have to clean the cat box again? Clean the cat box this moment, you know, not just those cherries that we're already naturally drawn to, but how about more of the moments? How about more of the moments of our lives? Yeah. You know, I've told this story once here. I need, I tell it when I can because I need to hear it again too. You know, we all need to hear these stories. I do so many times. I've heard Dharma stories 100 times, and I'll start out by thinking, oh yeah, I know that one. And then I go, oh, right, okay, letting that in again, maybe a little more deeply. Oh, thank you, remembering that. It's a story of my friend who's a director of a hospice who says, you know, what I've discovered is that the main regret that people have toward the very end is not that they did not do one more incredible, adventurous thing, one more bold, wild, out of the box thing. That was on the list, but that was not the top on the list. Top on the list was that they didn't appreciate enough the moments of their lives when the going was good, when they were healthy, when they were surrounded by blessing, because they were so busy regretting the past, revisiting the past in not necessarily such positive ways, or wanting something else in the future. I'm almost there. My mind's it's almost good enough. It's almost right. It's almost, but someday, but not today. Yeah. Now, so much of the practice, much of our practice these days is the invitation, the mindful remembrance, remembering to remember that it won't always be so, that everything is still working here, you know? Yeah. Which is why one of our favorite mantras, simple mantras, we shared a few of them with you, but one of them is, you know, practice with this together. But one of them is, it doesn't get better than this. Just dropping that in for a moment, like any moment, like this moment. Like, how amazing is this? All of us gathered together to be able to practice together, to come together like this, to be able to feel into our lives, to feel into our experience, to share that in some way, nice way together, like this moment, not some other moment. Yeah. Like with a dropper. I sometimes imagine myself with a little dropper, putting a couple drops of, oh, as if it doesn't get better than this, Bill. This. Yeah. Like that. And like everything, we practice, it gets stronger. We practice that kind of reflection, that kind of invitation, then it starts to happen more. It starts to show up more on the cushion, but also as we move through our day, yeah?